Price of Fear. Brought to you by Vincent Price.
Yes, I remember Addlestrop, the name, because one afternoon of heat, the express train drew up there unwontedly. Hello, welcome. That poem by Edward Thomas will, I feel sure, be familiar to some of you, but for myself, well, let's say it evokes a very particular occasion. A story so bizarre and so horrendous, I still find it difficult to decide whether it actually happened or not. I've called it Blind Man's Bluff. But to begin at the beginning, then. I was on my way to visit some friends in a remote part of the West Country. The train was certainly no express, but we were jogging along quite nicely through the lovely Cornish countryside when suddenly we braked and stopped. An unscheduled stop at, hardly a station even, at its best a country halt, so insignificant that it was not even considered worthy of a name board. The window was already lowered to its full. I looked out on a single small shack, which obviously served as ticket and parcel office combined, but no activity there, or for that matter, anywhere else. Discarded and rusting milk churns, a mongrel dog panting in the sun, the drone of bees, and far off over the fields, a glimpse of a church tower, but no life. No apparent reason for what seemed a simply endless delay, until, at the very moment when I'd all but decided to investigate the reason, we began to pull away. It was then I saw him.
Wait, I say! In the name of God, wait!
A man rushing through the entrance along the platform towards the now fast-moving train, rushing so heedlessly that it seemed he actually intended to throw himself under the very wheels.
Wait, Samuel, wait!
Instinctively and probably against my better judgment, I opened the compartment door, called out, offered a hand, and finally managed to haul him aboard. But it wasn't until I'd subsided into my seat directly opposite my rescued companion that I realized how truly foolhardy we had both been. The man was blind, quite blind.
I know you are truly kind to risk yourself like that. Truly kind.
Oh, no, the least I could do. Anyone would have done the same.
Oh, they wouldn't. You take it from me, they wouldn't. Not anyone, not most neither. Most would have stood and watched, maybe even hoped for the worst. How about that?
The worst? Were you surely not suggesting...
A misfoot in, a sudden topple, a screeching of brakes, and then they'd all climbed out to see, my God, to fool their putrid eyeballs, by God, the thing under the wheels, by God. I know, you see. By God, how I know.
His knuckles were white about the stick, gnarled white knuckles about the white, peeling paint of his blind man's stick. He wore a long, old-fashioned raincoat, reached quite down to his ankles. In spite of the stifling heat, he'd buttoned it up tight around his throat, and a black beret pulled down almost to his eyebrows. But most of all, the spectacles, so deep and black, they seemed like the sockets of the dead, fathomless, with only the reflection of my own curiosity staring back at me, my own reflection, and the sudden and uncomfortable conviction that I was being watched and assessed, inexorably assessed.
Oh, don't think I don't know why they wish it. I know fine why, all right.
I beg your pardon, I do.
Misfortune, calamity. It gives them this feeling of power, do you see? It gives them the feeling of being one up all the time, of being superior all the time.
Oh, but surely the majority of us must be allowed some feeling of compassion.
Compassion, he says. Oh, dear.
Well, I certainly never intended to suggest that we're all alike.
And foolish to presume. Still, you did offer a helping hand at risk of life and limb, I'll grant you that. But smoke then if you must.
Why?
Well, you're damn well going to light up, aren't you?
How did you know that I wanted a cigarette?
Perception. There's a toffee-nosed word for you, innit? But bang on target, all right.
Yeah.
Get done with it, then.
Oh, thanks.
Perception. It's the gift God gives us specials, you see, to make up for the things He's taken away. God, or the devil, or whatever.
Will you smoke too?
No, there's no good looking put out. Never could abide the damn thing.
Well, look, if you'd rather I didn't...
I didn't say that, did I? Suggested it in the first place, didn't I?
Yeah.
But kind of you to ask. Kind of you to offer. Perception. No sight. None. Never have done.
Oh, I am sorry.
But smell, touch, read your mind like a book and no mistake. So don't ever get round to thinking different. No, I'm sorry for that. Not wanting to say that, just by way of protecting myself, you see.
Sure.
Hard times don't help, of course. But most on account of him.
Of him?
Boy Con. Con be name, Con be nature, eh? Never told him to his face, of course. It would have been the end of me to tell it to his face.
The blind man's knuckles tightened about the handle of his stick again. But a sudden tautness about the shoulders, too, a feeling of violence, so suppressed, so pent. I hesitated to ask the next question, but there was no need. Again, he anticipated me.
Read you like a book. Oh, but I told you that once already, and I...
Yes, you
Con. Don't think about him anymore, not a thing to be thought about, you see.
Your friend, then?
No friend, never a friend. Oh, time passing and all, begins to wonder if he wasn't sent. A means, maybe, a means of getting me own back.
Revenge?
People, the world, the way it was decided for me. Happy once, before Con. Mother, home, just a small farm worker's cottage, only home I'd ever known. Familiar to me, you see. Familiar as the back of this hand. Important, that, knowing its every corner, every stair. The way every stick of furniture was arranged, and her never changing anything around. Give you a feeling of security I couldn't have found nowhere else. She gave me that. My mother gave me that.
I can see what it must have meant to you.
You can see. She paid for it, mind. Worked up at the big house, not the mansion exactly, but the way she described it as me, yours makes no difference. Hard work, bad pay, long hours. Again, the ruddy power of the strong or the weak in it. But at least the stinking pittance they allowed kept the thatch over our heads, a sacrifice I was glad to make. I never did get over her death. Bad enough sitting by the side of the bed and watching somebody die. But when all you got to go by is the feel, the pulse, the listening to their breathing. Hard, that.
Oh, well, what did you do after?
First off, seemed no answer. Bit she'd managed to save, put on the side, well, soon gone in it. Then one day I gets this idea, almost as though it meant me to get it. Not a damn sound and it seemed at the time.
Oh?
Well, there's this still their old room standing empty in there.
Oh, yes, a lodger, you mean?
And why not, I think. Still plenty of harvest labour being taken on up at the estate, all crying out for a place to lay their heads. And me with no barn loft neither, a fair share of home comforts besides. So I puts this card stuck up in the post office window tonight, and I waits. I waits. But not for too long. Convoy sort of that.
Home from home, he has the ruddy gall to call it.
This was my mother's room.
Yeah, which still don't make it a suite at the Waldorf, do it? Yeah, junk. You
What?
never see such junk.
Please be careful.
Oh, not to worry. Can always have it written in the lease, can't we? Some kind of inventory, did you ever get round to your actual inventory, Pops? Oh, dear, oh, dear. Oh, well, there's one little item we won't have to be worrying our heads about.
Please,
In the name of God, let's have this window open. The whole ruddy place stinks of mothballs.
Oh. You could make some changes. The room would be yours, so you've been entitled to make some changes.
Yeah, there'll be some changes, all right.
If you think the rent too high, we could discuss.
Look, the asking price can wait. But there would be changes, yes. Changes, all right.
I see.
Well, love of God. You didn't honestly think I'd be moving in and just taking your old lady's place, did you? Did you, Pops? Taking over the nurse companion bit just where she left off?
Oh.
If it's the white stick and Alsatian dog kit you're after,
No.
you should have tried getting it straight from the start.
As far as my handicap goes,
Well, then.
I think I'm self-sufficient.
Oh, sure you are. I noticed that. The way you groped yourself across that landing just now. Eh?
It's been some time since me mother's death. Well, some time.
Yeah. How about the way you tumbled across that chair the minute we gets through the door? Hey, just a touch of the old circus act for my benefit, I suppose.
When she was ill, there was this nurse. Rearranged some of the furniture in view of the special circumstances, you understand.
Yeah, I understand, Pops. The $64 question is, do you?
I'm sorry.
Damn.